welcome to this week's Spark user drop-in. This week we're talking about creating landing pages in Spark. Right, it's pretty typical from my sessions. We'll have a bit of a step back. What is a landing page? Why would we want to do that? Then we'll have a look at the tangible, how do we actually build one? So we'll be sharing some of the tips, the tricks, the sort of way of doing that, which gets a bit more hands on the product. And then again, as typical, we'll wrap up with some tips and tricks and your chance to ask questions. As you know, please do put stuff in the chat, wave, shout, scream. As long as you're not on mute, I will answer. We can take questions as we go through. So, what is a landing page? I put this quote up here. When I say it's a quote, it's something I've said for many years. I'm sure I've found it off someone else, but I can't. Might even be Julian that I heard that from many moons ago. But so you can have the best process in the world, but if people can't find it, it's useless, yeah? Or you might as well not have one, right? So when we talk about landing pages, my very simplistic view is it's just another aid to help people find the content that they need when they need it. Yeah, so not overthinking it. It really isn't. So we look at lots of different examples and ways of doing that, lots of different reasons. Can anyone think of an example of what, with that description in mind, what a landing page is that you might see in your life? Doesn't have to be work, could be anything.
I guess even for like a video game. Yeah,
menu. I mean, crikey, yeah, the menu structure in video games. They have people that's their job. They're designing the menu structures and the interfaces in those sorts of games. It's a massive science.
Meant to be clear and concise for the user, and should show where you need to go, what the purpose of each section is. Yeah,
love it. Any others?
When you go to a conference, you often have the schedule up at the front, or when you walk in, so you know where the seminar rooms are and all that. You just get a bit of a feel straight away of where everything is.
Yeah, exactly. Another great example. It's about slicing and dicing that information in a way which makes it easier for someone to digest. Yeah, the kind of the non-worky one I like is about like Netflix, or Amazon, one of these streaming services. I think that's a very sophisticated landing page. It's doing a lot more than we would be doing in Spark, about your demographics and what you've watched and extrapolating from there. But it's just, again, trying to serve you up that information in a way which he thinks you might like at that time. Some not as sexy examples as those perhaps, but other ones which we come across. We've got a council. You go to your local council website, portal, whatever it is, and they will have thought about the buckets of information that you might want. Again, it's not the holistic information. There's a lot more out there that you would want to look and go and find, but actually this high level kind of bucketing of that. The same with the NHS, brilliant website, the NHS. You can search for what you like, or you start to break it down into sections, and then as you drill down into the sections, it has a different view, different segmentation of information. And the other kind of normal one, which I'm surprised no one mentioned actually, is about your works, your company's intranet site. And we've got one in Netcall, we call it Atlas, and it's that kind of one, that first place we go if we want to go and link off into expenses or HR or latest news and all that sort of stuff. So again, we're not suggesting this is a new concept or groundbreaking here. It's just plugging into the way a lot of your end users, a lot of your employees and teammates will be used to digesting this information. Okay. So there's examples. If I come back up, so how do we build one in Spark? So if I drill down into here, we're going to get a bit hands-on here. We always use one site examples. I'm going to use that one in this example here. So if we look at an example, what we look at as a landing page, we click through to that, and you can see what we're going on here. It's been branded up. So it's called Wayfinder. It's broken down into logical buckets depending on what we might want to get into. So a lot of landing pages are hierarchical. So we kind of break it down into the pieces. If I want to come down into the individuals, it breaks it down. Now, this is by no means everything that I would ever do as an employee, but it's a top ticket items. Yeah, it's those what is it we want to do. And if you're building these sorts of things out, you poll people, you look at what they're doing, where do they get stuck, what are those. It's not always what they do day in, day out, it's the stuff they might dip into every now and then. Yeah, because most people won't need to follow a process or a guide for the things they do 10 times a day. It's the things they do once a month, once a quarter, or on a very ad hoc basis. And they're the real great things to be able to put into here. And I can get down to something like expenses, and I can click through into that information. Yeah, not rocket science. So we're not going to go and spend the next 2 hours talking about the art and the science of how you structure the landing pages. You start small, build it out, iterate. That's pretty straightforward. But what we'll have a look at is how we make something like what I've just shown you in Spark. There's some little tricks and trade. So in terms of building the page, if I go into edit mode here, we use the same objects. Yeah, so we can think about once we've planned out how we do it. But if I wanted to create a note box here, yeah, to create one of these buttons, I've just added a note box into there using the shortcut left key here, and we can say actually we want to claim your expenses. Yeah, perfect. Right, but there's a couple of things we need to do here. So that doesn't look too sexy. Yeah, so how we make what we're doing in here is it's all about messing around with the style of the box. So we can hit S, we'll go up to box style, and we can go rounded border, choose a border color. Let's keep it quite simple, put a bit of thickness around that. I'm going to keep this really simple. I'm going to make this a white center, and away we go. If I hit save there, you can see it starts to update the style. Yes, if I come off there, hit S again, it gets me back to the style sheet. There's a couple of other things you want to look out for in this in these sections here. If I scroll down, we want to put the text into the center, text into the middle vertically, and that's probably it in here. But if I hit save, you can see what's going on here. So a couple of things I want to do now is I want to put an icon in. Is anyone used to using icons in Spark? Have you come across icons? Got a couple of nods, but yeah. All I'm going to do is hold Shift. I'm going to hold Shift to put Enter to put it onto a different line. I'm going to keep Shift down. I'm going to do the icons here. And you can see here, I put the money icon in earlier when I was looking at how I want to do this drop in. So I can hit that there. Brilliant. Right. That still looks a bit pants because it's a bit small. And the like. So what I'm going to do, if you haven't, this is why I quite like this topic, because it actually touches on quite a few advanced features. If I highlight, you'll notice in any edit box, we've got this little icon here. If I hover over that, it goes open full text editor. So you can do quite a lot in the little pop-up boxes. If you want to really mess around with the formatting, I can hit the button here. I get full text editor. We've got a lot more options around here. So I could highlight this little icon down here. Let's just do that. And I can go, I want that text to be 5XL. And actually, let's change the color. Why not? Okay. Yeah. And then I might actually put that to H3. Yeah. I can close that at any time. It saves the changes. Close that. I've got a little button there, which I can resize and all the great stuff that I want to do on there. So, yeah. So as I was saying, so we use these building blocks here that I've just done there quite simply. And you can make some quite cool visualizations out of that, just aligning a bit of coloring, and then I've seen people do service lines, like replace the target operating model, that sort of thing with these sorts of building blocks to quite a lot of quite good effect. You can also do the same with note boxes as well, which we'll look at in a second. But there's also the thing here around you might not want to do it within Spark, yeah, and you might want to bring in icons or images and the like, and that's again very, very valid, especially if you're a good bit of advice is to, if you've got a marketing team or anyone graphical, get their help, do the visuals, and all you have to do is plug it in, which we'll talk about in a second. So you can quite simply bring in images. I'm just holding down M left click for the shortcut. We'll drag it in over there. I can add the media in here. You can see here I've got some icons. So if I wanted to bring in a money icon, for example, brilliant. I've got a money icon. I can use that. And that could be my button, so to speak, on my connection for a landing page. Yeah, really simple. Yeah. What we might also want to do is, actually, if I brought in, if you were doing it outside of Spark and you brought in that image of the, so let's choose the council one. Yeah. So again, it's brought it in small, but you can just make that bigger. And it's quite common that you might just have the one image. Yeah. And then you want to do some clever stuff there. So let's talk about how we hook it up. We'll work backwards, right? So if we wanted to take this page and probably a little bit bigger, the way we would recommend doing that is to drag in a note box or left click, yeah, and then you can start to put little hotspots over the bigger image to be able to link off into the rest of the content. So if I just double click on here and if I just type in the word link. It doesn't matter what you type in here, and you'll see why in a second, but I'm in the habit of doing this. And if I highlight that, look at the pop-up, and there's a little link icon in the middle of the bar, I can then start to choose what I want that to look at. If I want to look this at a process, I can say this is the how to complete an expense claim process. Actually, yes, a document. That's interesting. There you go. You can do into documents. But if I was to go into this process, you left click on here, you select the process on the left. You can get down and you can filter down to search down to the box level. Yeah, so you might have a landing page which hooks up to multiple different places in the same process for whatever reason. So it's quite cool. The quick pause that you want to do is this little box down here. Do you want this to open in another tab? Yeah, again, as you build out the landing pages, you'll work out if that's what you want. I'm a fan of it opening up in another tab. So I will click that, insert the link, and away we go. Yeah. But that doesn't look that great because we've got link. So what we do, there's a little trick here. If you left click on the object, come up to the top here where it says edit box, and go to additional settings. I don't know why we hide it so much, but that's the way it is. Make box entirely clickable. Excellent. Let's click on that. And just before I come off, clicks are disabled in edit mode. That's worth remembering as well. You'll see why in a sec. So I can hit X and that saves, and I lose text, the link text in here because we've made it invisible. Yeah, and now the old box. What I can do is I can drop that into, maybe that's Bing collections. Yeah, put it over there. Away we go. Yeah. Now I've left that bit yellowy because what I like to do is to hook it all up, see what's got the links, and then when I'm ready, I can then left click on here, hit the style button, and I can make the fill color transparent. A little ghost. I don't know if you've seen that before. The little ghost out icons means it's transparent. Just while you're designing, I just find it. So yeah. So as I was saying, I like to use these as a kind of placeholder, and I'll build them up, so I can see what I've connected, what I haven't. And when I'm ready, I can highlight these objects together, hit S, and I can put the fill color to the little ghost, right? Little transparent ghost. Hit save, away we go, right? And then these links won't work until I come out of edit mode. So the reason is you don't want to be jumping out and around while you're messing around and updating them. Yeah. So the way you would do that for this object here, so if I copy this over here, actually, I don't know if people realize that you can, if you hold down Control for any of these and drag away, left click, drag away, it creates a copy. Yeah, a little shortcut there as well. Control C, Control V works as well. But I'm going to do exactly the same. Yeah, so I'm going to put a little bit of text, doesn't matter what it is, on the end of the box there, put a link. And again, it doesn't have to be boxes. It can be external links. It can be from your library. So if it was to a log into a system, open the link, brilliant. Yeah. If I left click out, left click in, get back to the edit mode and go additional settings of making the entire box set clickable. That's it. I've got my box. Yeah, brilliant. And you do exactly the same for an image, slightly differently, in that if I double click here, you put the link text here. Yeah, so you put the link in the body here. If I go to this and go to another process, go to improvement, open another tab, away we go. Yeah, and again, you can see link up here. So I still need to go and do additional settings, making time box clickable, hit X, away we go. So if I come out of edit mode now and into view mode, we lose all the superfluous information here, and I can start to click around. Yeah, brilliant. That takes me to breathe. Love it. Yeah, click here. That takes me to another process. Love it. Yeah. And again, it's because of it's because I open another tab, it's opening another tab. If it didn't, it would just be seamlessly coming in. So that's the building blocks, right? Everything else is just making it pretty and linking it off to stuff, right? So it's not complex at all. Any questions on that before we jump away? Is it no? Oh, think about it. We've got another session bit here, and then some tips and tricks, and then up to you if you've got any questions on this. So honestly, keep it simple. I know we say that an awful lot, but it's the same. Yeah, and breaking them up sort of goes into that, feeds into that as well. In that you don't have to make one big landing page, you know, with every eventuality in it. In fact, I'd say you failed if that's what you do. Off into different ones, and be cognizant of that fact people digest information in different ways. Yeah, so it might be that you have two different views into the same content for different types of people. Yeah, some people love lists. Yeah, some people just want to search. Some people like the big buttons. It doesn't matter. You know, you're linking into the same content. Just get feedback and see what works for people, and then evolve it as you would for a process. Yeah, well, these are in effect process objects as such. So they've got comments, they've got review cycles, they've got publishing. You know, use it. Yeah, keep evolving it. Don't think you can do it once and then that's it. It's gonna remain the best, you know, relevant for the next 2 years. Keep evolving it. And then, as you saw me just now, it's not all about process, which is a strange thing for a process company to say, but you know, link off into other systems or SOPs or documents. You know, combining this sort of information, it actually works really, really well. And so, don't think it's just about creating a landing page with lots of different processes. It could be to anything in the system. You know, it could be to whatever it might be. The last thing in here is actually tags. It's a bit of a reminder, another feature, but it's quite cool. What's quite common is if I come back to my workspace, you know, you've got a whole folder structure here. There's our example one. What's quite common is to have like a high level landing page which goes into folders, and you might have another one in folders and all that sort of stuff. But if you haven't played around with tags, it's quite a good use case for this, where you can, if you just click on tags here, I've created, and I've had this in for years because it's quite a good use case, and I've seen customers do this, a tag called landing page. So if I add that landing page, it will just show me all the processes that I've tagged with landing page. Yeah. So if you're an end user coming into here saying I want to filter down by just the landing pages, it's not a bad way of doing that. And it's also good for the builders to sort of see, well, what do we already have in play, and what can I go and copy or whatever use for my own landing pages.